Hello everyone, Rabbi Abe here. Today I'm going to discuss the most dangerous question. And if you're not afraid to ask this question, you can fix just about anything. Now let's go into it. But you have to make sure you understand this as a principle. Now, I like to know, and I want you to think about this yourself. Did you ever ask, I don't know, maybe a teacher or a religious leader, why is so-and-so this? Why is this like this? Why do we do this? And did you ever get the answer, no, don't ask why. You're not allowed to ask why. If you ever got that as an answer, you understand there's a fear of why. Why is there a fear of why? What is why? In fact, again, as I said in the very beginning, when we understand truly how to ask this question, we can fix just about anything. Well, let me explain why that is so. You know, very often, if I'm counseling or coaching, let's say a couple, okay, who are having some issues in their relationship, if it's a married couple, the first thing I might tell them is, do you have any wedding pictures, maybe in your phone or wherever? Look at those wedding pictures. Look at the pictures before you got married. Now, why would I do something like that? The answer is to go back to the original energy. Nobody's thinking of having a fight at their wedding, let's say. Most people, though I have heard stories, okay? But for the most part, everybody's in love. Everything is great. It's such a happy occasion. In fact, when you look at those pictures of the wedding, you might get a warm, fuzzy feeling, because you're going back to that time of love. Now, do you feel the same way 10 years later? You might feel even better, or you might not feel that way anymore. Why is that? And the easy answer without going deeper, but we want to go a bit deeper. The easy answer is you're going back to the feeling, the original feeling of why you got married in the first place, because you were in love. And I recommend this also. If you're beginning to get bored with your job or bored with your work, do the same thing. You don't have to have pictures. Pictures are, powerful, especially if it's a relationship. But go back to the initial excitement that you had when you first got the job. What were your goals? What were your aspirations? What were you thinking? How were you feeling at that time? What does that do? It takes you back. Again, takes you back to the original energy of the beginning. Why is that important? Well, because the reason why you decided to do something, we have a name for it in Kabbalah. The why of something is what's motivating you. It was your initial goal. It activated your desire. Did a lot of things. Think about that. It was your initial inspiration. It is the why you decided to do that. The why means, spiritually and energetically, is the original desire that you had, that motive. It was your goal. The why in Kabbalah we call the light of wisdom. That's what it's called. Now, in the ancient teachings, which we learn from, right, in the Kabbalah, we do this Monday nights. In our group course, we're going to learn this in detail, that this light of wisdom is the essence of what we want. It's always what we want. Yes, it takes different forms. It can take the form of security. It can take the form of excitement. It can take the form of love. It can take the form of, it makes no difference. It's the fulfillment, and it is the, how shall we say, the motivating force, the motivating factor in as to why you will do anything. It operates your desire. Now, we also know from the teachings that without desire, nothing happens. Do you have a question about that? Well, just look at the last video we did on desire. Basically, that's what it was about. More desire, more abundance. Because desire, we call the vessel. It's a holder. It's a spiritual holder that is able to hold the energy of the particular fulfillment that we seek. Again, fulfillment of any kind is not physical. Yes, it can come through physical things, but again, it is not, fulfillment itself is not a physical thing. Okay? We feel it in a non-physical place because I don't see your desire. You don't see my desire. We don't see each other's fulfillment either. And so therefore, really what we're after, and if we think about it, maybe we're crazy. Most of our time in life is spent looking for something which is non-physical, and we're going to hold it in a place which is also not physical. And this is what we're going to spend most of our life doing. But having said that, and if we truly understand that, it is desire. It is that desire for that thing that we are after that's motivating us. So in a relationship, it might be love. But that doesn't mean for all people. Some people get married for security, for the desire to have security, or loyalty, or to have someone they can trust and talk to, comfort. But according to what you desire, that's what you want, and that's what's going to motivate you. Now, as time passes, and the tendency is that we might forget, or it seems to be wearing down, because mainly, and one of the main reasons is we forget what our original desire is, or was, I should say, was when we started. Think about it. The initial energy and desire that we have for something is the greatest in the beginning. Is that not true? It is in the beginning that we have the most motivation. It is in the beginning that we have the most inspiration, the most excitement, because we have the most desire. But of course, it's no different maybe than eating. We can be very hungry and very excited when the food is in front of us and we start to eat. Yes, but of course, after we've taken, the first 10 bites, it's not that exciting anymore because I feel full. And when we feel we have something already, or we've had it for a period of time, we tend to lose the original excitement. Hence, we lose the original desire. Actually, it's the other way around. Because we begin to lose the desire, the energy also begins to fade. Why? Because the rule is that energy must have a place to be. We call that place a desire. Desire is our vessel to hold the energy of a fulfillment. And if that begins to fade, well, guess what? The fulfillment from that thing, it doesn't matter what it is, whatever it is, will also begin to wane. It will begin to decrease. That is a cosmic law. Check it out yourself. One of the greatest ways that we can use to reawaken it is to go back to the beginning. And how do we do that? We ask why. Why? Because why takes us back to this stage that we call wisdom, or the light of wisdom, the force, the motivation, the vitality of what I wanted in the first place, and this is why I decided to do whatever it is. So, and this is something you can easily try, because if you want to go back to the beginning, that's the seed level. And the seed level of anything is the most powerful part. That's where all the energy for the growth comes from. This is also something that the Kabbalists explain is recommended to do periodically. Go back to the why. And even if you have something, and this is an additional understanding, even when you feel you have it, that you have that relationship, no, go back to the original why you got into it to begin with, because you hope to have more of whatever you were feeling or doing or achieving, and go out of the having. In other words, go back to your original hunger. Hard to do with food because it's a physical, manifestation, and you're eating and you're full and nothing you can do about it except to wait a few hours till you'll be hungry again. But spiritually, energetically, that is possible, because we can psych ourselves. We have the ability to psych ourselves into the understanding that, you know what? Even though I think I have this, I can never truly have it. I can lose it any moment. I don't own it. I can't take ownership over this or that, a feeling. We know at any given moment, something else can happen. And the feeling, the happiness or the whatever, the love, when two people are fighting, they may not exactly be experiencing the same feeling of love. When you're having a difficult time with your employer, it's very difficult to feel right now, such an appreciation for the job that you worked so hard to get. When customers are not coming into your business, it's quite difficult to feel, an appreciation for, the situation that you're in your business. The opposite, you might be feeling desperate, not appreciative. What's the solution? What's the antidote? Why? Ask yourself why you started to begin with, why you started this relationship, why you started this business, why you motivated you to go into this job, into this line of work. And again, sometimes we're afraid to ask that question. You know why? Because it might make us more honest. And sometimes we don't want that. What do I mean by that? Because truly being willing to ask why must give you the answer or the truth as to why you started to begin with. Now, if you had a selfish agenda as to why you started whatever it was that you were doing to begin with, that's a problem. And it is a problem. And that's probably for another lesson, or if you're taking our classes, you'll come to understand why that's a problem. But we can't go back to the lie, right? Because there's no energy long-term. There's no long-term energy in the lie. So if you started something for the wrong reason, you got into a relationship for the wrong reason, you got into this job for the wrong reasons, and I mean wrong for you. It's not a moral question here. It was not really the right motivation for you, whatever we can call the right motivation. And I think most people would understand that, discussion if you truly ask yourself, well, why did I start doing this? And am I really being honest with myself? Was this really the good reason? Was this the right reason why I started this to begin with? What was I thinking? Was I thinking, in a self-serving way? Was it about my ego? By the way, this doesn't have to be about anything that is, years ago. It could be something that happened yesterday. Going back and say, what did I want over here? What was I thinking that caused me to react this way? Listen, this is one of the most powerful tools that there are. And that's why also this question, as I said in the beginning, can also be feared. Why? It's a feared question. Because also when you ask someone else why, or someone in a position of power or who wants control, well, if the seed level is not clean, then of course they don't want to tell you what the reasons are, do they? Right? Don't ask why. If we're not being honest with ourselves and we've been misbehaving or we're in the wrong headspace, we're being selfish, we want something we shouldn't be wanting, then we also won't want to admit to ourselves, what's the reason that I did this? What's the reason that I'm doing this? It'll be more difficult. If we're willing to be honest, it can set us on the right path. If we were honest in the beginning, but we lost it, it'll take us back to the beginning, to the original seed level, and we'll be able to tap into the original power that we had in the beginning, which included motivation, inspiration, appreciation, and all the things that we need to continue and to grow in whatever it is that we're doing or involved with, even if it's, 20 years old, 30, it makes no difference. Energy has no age, but desire appears to have some kind of an age. Now, we need to learn more about that, but the energy does not, and the fulfillment has no limitation. And the general rule is, the more positive desire, inspiration, appreciation, and that's a big one, we have, the more we will be able to feel and grow and expand whatever it is that we're doing in whatever area that we're dealing with. Be blessed, guys. All the best. Go to RabbiAbe.com for more stuff. Subscribe to the video, and I'll see you very soon on the next one. All the best.